Hey Saber fans, it's JP here. I'm going to be doing a conversion on that LGT Luke lightsaber that is already in my video section. If you haven't seen that, go take a look. But here is the saber completely taken apart. I did that last week. Got a chassis here. You can see where I unplugged the one end that had a battery in it. And it had the 9 font Echo Smooth Swing board that came with it. It was an RGB setup. I don't know what I did with the RGB end. Oh, here it is. So I took that end, that was your LED module, and I pulled the pins out of the plug because I'm going to try and reuse the plug, which is the other end of that guy, on the setup I'm doing. So right now I've stripped all 4 pins, and I'm going to wire the wire that I purchased, which is PTFE 22 gauge, to use for the Neopixel setup, which is this PCB right here, and I will be soldering brass pins into that, which will contact the Neopixel blade. This goes in the emitter section, and I'll get to all that. I'm just giving you a rundown of what I'm doing, because I'm not going to be doing all this on video as far as getting the plug. The whole plug drama, I'm going to, spare you guys of that. So I will talk about that later. It's really small. The wires that came with that, the LED RGB, I think were a little bit smaller than this 22 gauge I'm using. So I'm barely putting the tip of that into the end of the pin, because if you make it too thick, it's not going to want to fit back into the housing where the pins go. But I would suggest getting your own connectors. I'm just trying to work with what I have. I would suggest getting any small 3-pin. You want at least 3-pin connectors. For what I'm doing, has 1 negative, 1 positive, and a data line. So it's really depending on what setup you do. A lot of people use 24 gauge wire, and they'll use 2 strands per line on the negative and positive. You can still use 1 strand on the data. But so if you do that, you're going to want, unless you connect them together before you put them in the pin, that'd be too big. But however you want to do it, you need however many pins. You just make up your own, buy some connectors, however, at least as many for the wires you're using. But I'm trying to make the pin connectors that came with the RGB work for me. So I will get back with more video of doing the PCB itself, and taking the old chassis apart so you can see that, getting the old stuff out, and we'll see what we're working with. All right, see you in the next video.